Borisov has suggested that Three-Eye Atlas is actually some type of alien technology sent here from another solar system. And he's come on the show before to lay out the scientific reasoning behind that.
This is interstellar space, the region beyond our sun's protective bubble called the heliosphere. This region of space is far more violent and destructive than our solar system. And this is Three-Eye Atlas, the third interstellar object that we have ever detected passing through our solar system. But it's not just casually passing through. This object is moving at 58 kilometers per second. And in freedom units for our Americans, that is 635 football fields. Although this seems incredibly fast, this speed would indicate that Three-Eye Atlas entered our solar system about 8,000 years ago. So if it is aliens, then at least we know that they seem rather patient. Or maybe they're just very determined to kill us. Which wouldn't be very nice. But as much as this feels like the start to a Cloverfield movie, it likely isn't. Because a speed like this actually isn't very abnormal in interstellar space. It would actually just indicate that Three-Eye Atlas is very ancient. I'm not talking like Jesus ancient, I'm talking like 7 billion years ancient. This is because the longer they hang out in interstellar space, the more likely they are to have gravitational encounters and be scattered at higher velocities. But let's look at its trajectory. Three-Eye Atlas is passing through our solar system on a hyperbolic orbit, meaning it's moving so fast that it's not bound by the sun's gravity. But its closest approach to the sun will be on October 29th. Unfortunately, as we all know, this will be overshadowed by National Cat and Oatmeal Day. Nonetheless, this is an event we call perihelion. And unfortunately, Earth will be literally as far away as it possibly can be on perihelion. Meaning we won't be able to see this object when it's under the most radiative stress, which is when we would expect to see a large coma. Assuming it's a comet. Sorry. But on December 19th, it will make its closest approach to Earth at 1.8 AU, which is 270 million kilometers. And for our Americans, that is this many football fields, which is a lot. But Three-Eye Atlas gets a lot more interesting than just its speed and trajectory. In my opinion, the weirdest thing is given how far away it is, how bright it appears. In fact, this brightness kind of rules out the idea of it being an interstellar asteroid. Because unless this asteroid is abnormally reflective, it would have to be 20 kilometers across, which given the violence of interstellar space, the probability of a rock this size passing through our solar system is extremely rare. It's actually 1 in 10,000 years. But this doesn't rule out a comet, because when a comet approaches a star, it begins to boil off ice and dust, creating what we call a coma, meaning that even a small comet can appear very bright. And this coma has been detected clearly in many images of Three-Eye Atlas. However, there is something strange that can be observed about Three-Eye Atlas. The coma appears to bulge from the sun-facing side rather than the rear. Also, while it shows coma, the tail is incredibly vague. But the James Webb Telescope recently revealed a CO2-dominant coma, as well as the presence of H2O, CO, water, ice, and dust. I guess water is H2O. And ice. Now, just because it's most likely a comet doesn't mean it's no longer interesting. And who knows, maybe it's an alien spaceship pretending to be a comet. And if that's the case, National Cat and Oatmeal Day might take a very interesting turn. Now, I also think it's really important to talk about God of the gaps, or rather alien of the gaps in this situation. That's basically the idea that anything we can't explain is probably aliens. And I think that that isn't the best way to go about thinking things. It's also really arrogant to just always assume that it's not aliens. We can't say whether aliens exist or don't exist, or whether something is or isn't aliens until we get the facts. So I think trying your best to not have a bias in either direction is really what will give you the most true information.